Hi, I'm Curtis Garrison. I'm a Boy Scout child sex abuse survivor and a claimant in the Boy Scout bankruptcy, like amongst everybody here. And we're going to do a brief intro, but I will share that the purpose of this podcast is because the U.S. trustee filed a motion and he had some issues and suggestions on how we can respond to that. So again, I'm Curtis Garrison, and we'll go in order. I have David next. If you'd like to introduce yourself, David.
My name is David Boyd. I am also a Boy Scout abuse survivor multiple times, and I reside in South Carolina.
Shannon, go ahead, please.
Uh, My name is Shannon Cooper. I am also a Boy Scout bankruptcy claimant and survivor. My abuse happened in California, Sacramento, California in 1973. And I'm an author of a book called Monsters in My Tent, My Survivor Story, My Memoirs. And I'm here to support each other and stand for the advocate and stand for what we all believe in. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to be here with you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you, Shannon. Thank you. Timothy, if you'd like to go.
I'm Timothy Zinkand. I'm a sexual abuse survivor in the Boy Scouts. I'm here to be a part of this podcast. Thank you for having me.
Todd.
My name is Todd Grantham. I'm a Boy Scout survivor and claimant. My abuse happened in West Monroe, Louisiana, under the Washita Valley Council.
Okay. Lee, would you like to go?
My name is Lee West. I am pro se. I am a matrix claimant. My abuse was from Texas, Arkansas, New Mexico, and Colorado. Was
Excellent.
the only state that made it to my matrix claim.
Okay, great. Thanks. I'm sorry. So I will share first of all, and then I'll let Lee go next since he was last in the intro. I'll let him go first on the issues that he may have discovered. But just real briefly, the U.S. trustee identified that future claimants are being considered to have a fast lane in front of people that have been fighting for 6 years since the bankruptcy was filed February 18th. We're also concerned about the percentage that future claims will get compared to claimants that have already filed. There's healthcare and attorney liens that are blocking the progress. After years and years, they finally put that in a system and it's slowing it down. We're not getting paid in full as promised, and we're looking at 4.7% is the maximum anybody's received. And we don't even know if it's going to be much more, if any, beyond that because it's so underfunded with fraud and other issues. There's been delays, costs, and re-victimization. And the trust is really problematic and not responding to inquiries not only from attorneys but pro se, individuals. And Lee probably can respond to that. And those are all big issues, but only a few that the U.S. trustee had mentioned amongst many other things we need to share. So Lee, would you like to go? Everybody, please mute if you're not talking at the moment. I don't know if there's a background there, but Lee, you can take the floor. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Curtis. So the hearing that's coming up on the 15th, to my understanding, is about the future claims adjusted amount. How many future claims do they think there are going to be? That is one of 6 issues that the U.S. trustee filed in a motion to have Barbara Hauser, the BSA trustee, respond in writing of what are her reasons why she is not communicating with creditors, victims, survivors, whatever you want to call us. There's 3. That was a Boy Scout joke. Anyway, so the 6 issues that the trustee has has asked to get clarification on, I believe they are asking to hear from the creditors, ourselves, and if we have tried to talk to the trust and have we gotten any responses from. Now, I've documented this series of questions very well, and I am going to be submitting a 5-page document of the 14 times that I've tried to ask the trust questions. The second piece of information that I'm going to be sharing with them is the fact that one of my questions revolves around the fact that we have 0 original claims from the each area council did not have the original claims of abuse on record. And the Independence Area Council responded back in 2021, I believe, with the fact that they don't have it on record because it is insurance company policy, Boy Scout wide, to send all of those original claims to Irving, Texas, which is the Boy Scout headquarters. One of us pro se victims during that trial had access to the discovery and found that the CFO, BSA CFO, hid all of those original claims during this process, and he put it on record. I have pointed to that record to the FBI, Cash Patel, Ken Paxton, the trust, FBI fraud department, and now it's going to be the U.S. trustee. Why is that important? Because it is the baseline for all of our matrix claims. If you don't have the original report, they put it on us to say, well, you've now got to report your abuser or you won't get credit in that matrix algebra. With all of that said, I have documented very well my all of this. I first presented to Andrew Van Arsdale. He did dick about it. Sorry, forgot I'm on video. He didn't do anything about it. And that's why I filed an ethics violation against him in California, where they couldn't find him to serve him, nor could the BSA bankruptcy judge Silverstein. She tried to serve him several times as well. So his Montana office and his California office are basically just staffed with non-licensed paralegals, and I do not know of another licensed person in his firm, and he only got his bar card in 2018. So a year before all this started, this man got his license in California and just happened upon 19,000 claimants. So he represented 19,000 of us, which would be exactly 1/3 of all of the verified claims at the moment. And that's what kind of what kind of fraudster we have running 1/3 of our claims, which leads me up to the fraud that I found him committing was signing. The majority of those claimants were the expedited claims for $3,500 and a release with no proof. He only needed a signature for that. He got around $14 million for signing those documents and voting yes in this plan, and why we're all here right now. I don't think anybody here voted yes on that plan. If you did, raise your hand. Okay. Nobody's raising their hand. So I am presenting all of this in a very information-based motion to be heard on the record, filing it in the new bankruptcy, BSA LLC, I'm sorry, Delaware BSA LLC. That bankruptcy is where all of our comments need to be filed. So we've got to file all of this with the trustee, U.S. trustee, and the court clerk in the Delaware jurisdiction that is still holding the Boy Scout bankruptcy court cases. I think that's it.
It's a lot. Way to go, brother.
I have a question. That's
What
a
happened?
quick question for all of you. Curtis, you're muted.
Oh my gosh, I was talking and nobody even heard. Okay, anyway, I feel like that's the trust, BSA trust doing that to me. Anyway, the thing is, Lee, I know you got to go. We were trying to schedule for you to go first because your schedule didn't allow you to stay the whole time. Timothy, do you have something quick? And then I was going to ask Lee.
Yeah, I
Hopefully
actually have a question for Lee. Lee, how do I don't even know what my claim is. I don't know if it's a matrix. I know it's not an ROA.
IRO. That's okay.
Oh yeah. I was supposed to be there, but they unchecked it at the very last minute when it went through. Right. Andrew did that.
Yep.
I didn't do it. Yep. Andrew did it.
Yeah.
And I've been called an outlier, guys. My entire claim has been called an outlier. Okay. But outside of that, I don't even know what I am. I don't even know what claim I am because they have never told me. And like I said, I'll go on the portal and the portal tells me nothing.
Right.
It shows me a thing, and it's a little bunch of numbers, and then I click on that, it takes me to my claim, and then in there's nothing.
Right.
Zero.
Well,
Zilch.
you're not an expedited claim because those have been processed, and those were ones that weren't, thoroughly um, process based on aggravating and mitigating factors. Yours is very complicated. It should have been an IRO. They should have fought for as maximum accountability or a recovery amount, award is what they call it. But obviously, they haven't communicated to you the details, such as your claim being a matrix claim. You kind of have to make assumptions, and that's unfortunate. Lee, do you have a moment, or did you want to reply to that?
I do, and I've been thinking about our conversation from earlier, Timothy. We got a chance to speak briefly for 15 minutes this morning. I believe that Andrew Van Arsdale has committed such criminal fraud that is what you would file against him as far as a reason to
Are you doing
fire him.
malpractice? Are you doing a malpractice?
I'm trying to gather evidence from other claimants to do so, but I have enough alone to prove with us together. You and I could prove that man should have his bar card removed and should be underneath a jail.
Yes, and I will like I said, I've been applying a lot of stuff to Curtis also. If you need me to give you the same information of how they've handled my text messages, my calls, I also have voice calls. I have a lot of documentation, emails back and forth over the entire 6 years. I will give you everything.
So, Timothy, we are not alone. I need you to understand how common this is, because I've read over 1,000 written in letters from people over the 6 years who have yet to hear from Andrew Van Arsdale, and most of them are incarcerated.
And that's the sad part, because I can understand, because I mean, I've never been incarcerated, but when it comes to the situation of what that in general is not fair to any survivor that is incarcerated.
It's
because
horrible.
Of the circumstances of what they've already gone through. They should be heard as much as we are free. You understand what I'm saying? It's not fair.
Well, here's the reality of it. When I was in jail, when I go to jail often because I'm allergic to bullshit. I break out in handcuffs every time it comes up. So I got a letter back from the I got a letter back from the California Ethical Commission while I was in jail, and the cartel was reading my mail because they thought I was a snitch. And I was like, fine, read my fucking mail. I ended up getting 300 of them released from San Juan County, New Mexico. Anyway, they read my mail and realized that I was in for a bunch of money. And I got extorted the first 2 weeks I was there until they realized I was cool and there was no need to do that. But if it happened to me, I'm trying to get a baseline of how many people were actually incarcerated during the 6-year process. I have guesstimated about 10,000. So 1/6 of all of us claimants have been incarcerated during at least once during the 6.5-year process. Did we have access to the courts? No. Did we have access to our attorneys? No. Did we have privacy with mail coming in? No. So the facts of the majority of anybody that's incarcerated didn't have a fair trial in any of this and also could have voted is disgusting.
Lee, could you share before Todd? I'm so sorry because Lee's about to go. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Todd. Could you just share your thoughts on how attorneys are voting on behalf of the people incarcerated? Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I think that we could all touch on this in our request to the trustee for clarification. What number of votes were yes, and also the what's it called? Quick claim?
Expedited.
Expedited. So how many of them were expedited claims and also signed only by an attorney without any evidence, any proof, any correlation to scouting at all? And is that number going to skew our votes? Because I don't know anybody who voted yes. I only know people who voted no. 340 of them voted no. Nobody voted yes. So the odds are it doesn't seem plausible that all of us who voted no with our signature on it, the attorneys who voted yes do not have a scout's signature on. So that's where the fraud happened, and that's what I turned into the trust back in 2024 when we first started communicating.
I was threatened.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I was literally threatened. I got a voicemail that I could play for you guys right now that I was threatened by
Yeah,
a
we can have a large meeting, and there's a, sorry to interrupt. There's a lot of people that were harassed like dozens of times a day. Right. Todd, could you go ahead? I know you wanted to share about the discussions of incarceration.
Yeah, mine was just real quick, but it's kind of
Sure.
mute now. But you know,
It's okay.
I got
No.
threatening calls too, so that's pretty much that's it. That's it. We're good.
Okay. Okay.
I was incarcerated with my predator.
Shut
Right.
the
Same
fuck up.
facility. No,
Yep.
yes. Yeah.
Not in the same
Curtis,
cell, but
Curtis has the letters. Yeah. When I got locked up, he was locked up with me. We have a very strong claim. He was arrested for messing with a child, and I was in the same facility he was.
Yep.
And
tell me how fucked up that is.
1 second, the perpetrator was mailing me for 10 years, and he was helping. I mean, he was first talking about Todd being as if
For
I'm
y'all
supposed
that
to go
don't
tell
know,
Todd.
Curtis and I are in the same troop.
Right, we're in the same Boy Scout troop in West Monroe, Louisiana, and the thing is the perpetrator is trying to help get me to help him not have a divorce with his wife. It's crazy, and I don't know how Todd survived that because he's in the same facility, and if there's a connection between a survivor and a perpetrator, I mean, who wants to be assumed you're
That's
dealing with
all
the perpetrator?
documented too. It's in all my transcripts and everything too. I mean, it just makes my case stronger. But yeah, I understand what you're saying about being. I've been in and out of prison. I remember my DOC number. You know, I'm the same way like you. I don't take no bullshit. But I was locked up with my abuser.
Todd, would you please consider entering that evidence into the U.S. trustee?
Yeah,
that was when he was.
Yeah, it's in my.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to clarify. I don't want to interrupt. I want to clarify. This was happening when he was younger, not during the bankruptcy. Right.
Young adult, just barely
I understand, but that's an illustration of how
bad
this all situation is. Because when there's no case number, there's nothing to report. So you might get housed with your offender because nobody would ever report your case number.
Great point. Great point. Yeah, it's further abuse. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
I'm sorry for that, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it's pretty messed up. But that's how the cycle works. I mean, you think people in their other mind, I'll make this quick. I'm not going to go on.
You're good.
But it's like there's a statistic for it. Well, what are the odds that that's going to happen to anybody? I got a better chance winning the lottery. But that's how these pedophiles go in and they come right out. I can have a gram of cocaine or I can have whatever, a half ounce of marijuana and get more time than they do. But yeah, I was locked up in the same facility within arm's reach of my predator.
They were trying to get you a new case. Shit.
Yeah. David, would you like to go next?
Todd, I can tell you confidently, brother, you are a much fucking stronger man than I am. I did 10 years in Texas prison, and I know my DOC number. And
when I say that, I'm gonna make this quick. There's a courtyard. He was in the trustee. I was here. He could come to my window. The louver windows did open, but we didn't have contact. It ain't like I could have shipped him in his bed.
Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of access, but my bed was right along the windows. He could walk up to my window when they were on the yard.
Oh my God.
We wasn't in the same actual space. We were close.
Right. No, that's close. I mean, that would have.
That's too close. That's too close.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
How would you like to lay in your bed taking a nap and hear, "Hey, Todd," and you look up and that's the guy that was playing with your wiener?
Oh, I cannot.
What do you do?
Yeah. Because he was so manipulative. And that was. I'll just say it, Todd. I'm not trying to speak for you. We have the same perpetrator, and I know that we've shared being able to share these things. But that was Norman H. Key. He went to West Monroe, in West Monroe, Louisiana. He went to Whites Ferry Road Church of Christ, and that was the same church that the Duck Dynasty people are from the
Yes.
reality TV show. I moved away from there when I was 16. Todd moved away from there a little later, but that Duck Dynasty stuff was in our face as Jesus Christ rock stars. I could not get away from that shit. Sorry.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and Phil Robertson from there married his wife when she was 15, so it's just a culture thing. Horrible.
Well, the grandpa was my neighbor.
I'm going to jump off here real quick.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about process, what they can or should be presenting, and how to the U.S. attorney? Or I'm sorry, U.S. trustee?
Lee, I have done that. I have sent a lot of things.
Yeah.
Can
Let me
you,
just
them. And
Curtis,
I
can
have
you show us the
one thing I get
response that
back,
we-
and I will send you the email later on. Response. Yeah, I've gotten a response back saying that I have to go a little document through my attorney, Andrew, and that's what I've been fighting with Andrew for the past 3 days. And like I said, Curtis is my witness to that
Well,
because I've sent him everything.
So you send that to
They
me, and
are
I'm going to
refusing
file
to
that on
fight
your
with
behalf.
me.
You send
Okay,
that to
that's
me,
fine.
and
I will
I'll
send it out.
file it on your behalf as a witness statement.
Okay, I will do that. I will send it over. If you can text me your email later, I'll have it all over to you.
Do that
Okay.
right now.
I wanted to mention for everybody watching this episode, we will have all the issues that the U.S. trustee noted. We will have 6 steps of what we suggest to do, which is emailing the U.S. trustee directly, calling the U.S. trustee's office, mailing a written letter, filing a letter directly with the court, contacting U.S. senators and representatives, and also sharing with other survivors so we can get the word out. Because I'm going to post this. I'm hoping the podcast will go pretty much immediately live, get shared for all the survivors to be able to do these steps and be heard, because there's so much fraud and malpractice. And we're going to share some things that we're concerned about here. But Lee's got to go. Unfortunately, schedule won't allow him, but
Lee,
I'm not trying to rush him off. But
Nice
other
to
than that,
meet you,
we'll have
Lee.
that information in the post and on our websites to contact us.
Thank you, Curtis.
Was there anything else, Lee, before you go, or can you hang a bit more, or you got to go?
I do need to jump off. I only had
Okay.
30 minutes scheduled. I've got folks looking at me like, what am I doing?
Okay.
So I do need to go.
All right.
If anybody has any issues from this group, Curtis, please pass on my information. If we need to get on a group signal chat or whatever, I'm up for it. This is a very, very huge precipice for all of us. I can't emphasize the U.S. trustees' involvement enough as a good thing. And this is probably our last chance to have a voice in this issue before we go malpractice.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for having me. And I'm so sorry to jump in and jump out.
No,
We'll have
good.
We'll have many more, maybe daily, but at least a weekly update. We're going to do this a lot.
Sign me up, gentlemen. Y'all have a great day. Sorry
You too.
that I am leaving, but I gotta go.
All right. Thank you
Later.
so much, Lee.
Take care.
Shannon, I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt or rush anybody else, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but Shannon, I don't know if there's something you want to share regarding anything in general related to your book and when it will come out and stuff. I am going to turn my camera off just a moment. I have to take care of something that came up urgent, but I'll be right back. I'm online. Just go ahead and share, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Are you guys there?
Anybody? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I wrote this book as my survivor story, my memoirs. I did that to help other survivors, where it's relatable, where I could, help them with the healing process. It's been quite a journey, Also, what we're all going through, this emotional roller coaster of having to relive our, what happened to us and all that. I really feel like we're a bunch of puppets, and trustees and the lawyers are like the puppet masters, like calling all the shots.
Can I ask you a kind of a personal question, Mr. Shannon?
Certainly.
What kind of childhood did you have?
Well, I mean, other than abuse,
Is that too personal? Because I come from a messed up family, and I think that's where my scoutmaster saw that single mother, grandparents raised me. So that's why I was just asking you, was yours kind of broken like the rest of us, or just me?
Yeah, I mean, my mom was raising me by herself. She was divorced, and she was a workaholic. She pretty much tied herself into work all the time. And like I said, none of us saw any of this coming. I was just like, these guys, these predators, like groomed us and just did unspeakable acts. The thing that I did though is I tried to do everything I could to overcome it and try to remove some of the obstacles and stuff. And of course, I had a problem with alcoholism. I was an alcoholic for a lot of years and went to rehab. I ended up becoming a sponsor and actually running a AA meetings there. And when I was in the Navy, when I was in the military, so I was able to overcome that and heal and recover. So my book is all about all the obstacles and stuff that I faced in my life. And
where can
I
I
really
find
think
your book?
I'm sorry.
Where can I find your book? Where can I find your book?
It's in the publisher right now, but it's supposed to be out probably like August or between August or October, one of the two.
Well, Curtis, remind me. Let's try to. That's one of the first books I'll put on my. What do you call it? Audible.
Audible.
Yeah.
Not a problem. That'd be great. Timothy, did you? Oh, go ahead.
Buy your book.
Was that? I'm sorry.
No, I'm definitely going to buy his book. I've bought a few already. I've actually supported a couple other survivors that have books out, and I've actually bought their books. I think it's important to stick with, like I said, to support our cause and to help out. I mean, like I said, I'm not rich. I have 16 grandkids, man, and that's where most of my funding goes. But outside of that, when I'm able to help others and I can support other survivors with their books and read their stories and understand, because see, one thing that I really come to the fact of that we all are in the same situation, and to really understand is to have a book. You know what I mean? To be able to express ourselves, to get these things out and to get it in circulation so people could see what's really going on with the Boy Scouts of America. I don't care how they change their names. I don't care what they turn into. They should not be an entity that should be taking care of our children.
Right.
My boys have already, committed to me that they will never allow their kids to join the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or any other scouts that are out there. There's too many risks for children to be touched, and it's sad. It's a really sad situation because the church. Good.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just had to roll the windows down the truck because it's privacy, and there shouldn't be much traffic. But if you hear some noise that interrupts us, let me know. I'll roll the windows back up. I'm sorry.
You sound great, man. Timothy, was that? Go ahead and wrap up. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that there is so much going on in this world where I don't care how much supervision, I don't care how much background checking they do on these people. Okay, it's just the point that you can't look in the face of an eye of a person to tell you if they're going to touch a child or not. Okay, I'm sorry. It's
right.
It's an evil thing. We do something about evil that we can't take out of the world because it's never going to stop. But with us getting the word out and getting, bringing light to the situation. No, and I know we're a little light on the ball here, but the more we get the story out, the more we keep pushing, the more we keep fighting, and letting our voice. That is where we're going to make a stand.
Absolutely.
And until we wake up society in our country, that's what we have to do. I mean, legislation, like you've done, Curtis, going down and talking with them, and I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the fight. Like I said, I will to my last breath, man. I think all you guys are great. I'm glad you guys are here. Lee is very inspiring also, and I'm going to follow his lead on what he's doing with the Trustee, because I have done that. I've been doing that for the past actually 4.5 months. I've been writing letters to the Justice Department, to my senators, to my representatives, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be in their ear. I'm going to be that fly on the wall that they can't stand. That they're just going to try to keep flying away and ain't going to go away. Okay, I'm not gonna escape.
Right.
Okay, I'm stuck in your arm, and you're gonna be scratching to try to get rid of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll let David go next, but I'll just conclude by saying without accountability, nothing will change. That's what I always
Yeah.
feel. You got to
That's the
just
thing is,
stop
we
these
all want
people from
accountability.
re-abusing. Right.
I mean, I want accountability. I want a
Right.
justice. I want
Well,
accountability.
that's
You
what you're
know,
saying.
again,
Yeah.
and at the end, I don't care. I don't care about money at all, because
Right.
I have always been a survivor, with or without it, and I will always continue to be a survivor. So,
Absolutely. David, did
okay.
you have something you were holding a book there? Was there something you want to share?
So I just recently, outside of my wife, of course, and my father, many decades ago, I shared my abuse, like I told Curtis months ago. I shared my abuse with some very close personal friends of ours, and they have kids as well, and they have grandkids. And I strongly urge them not to put them in Boy Scouts. I went as far as you could go in Boy Scouts, and then after the Boy Scouts, I kind of just worked at home for my pops for about a year, and then I went in the military. Um, and I told my dad when he came back stateside, uh, if you want to talk about a perfect home, a perfect pictured home, I came from that. Uh, Father was military, mother was a military wife. I'm the oldest of three. My brother and my sister are no longer with us. But anyway, I told these friends of mine about my abuse, and the wife couldn't understand why I was so angry, why I had so much bitterness, and why I had so much quick tempered, short fuse, prone to violence. I did 10 years in prison for a non heinous blue collar crime. But not long after I revealed to them what had happened, it's like instantly the day that I told Tammy and Rick, right? Everything started falling into place about me. Everything to a T. And everything started coming to light the way I am, the way I am. Well, she shared this book with me,
Okay.
and it's written by Richard B. Gardner, PhD, and the book is called Beyond Betrayal.
Okay.
Phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. And it also mentions Boy Scout abuse survivors in this book.
I have not heard of that one.
But it really goes in depth. I have not read the book entirely because I just recently shared it with them. I'm not a fast reader. I like to take one page at a time and absorb it and probably read it again. As a matter of fact, above y'all's heads, I've got a mass amounts of books here.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a troubled life as a child. A lot of admonishments because I was a wild child. Anyway, long story short, I have what they call oppositional defiance disorder. I don't like people telling me what to do. I'm not going to allow you to tell me what to do.
Right.
I'm not going to allow you to put me in the position to where you can tell me what to do. I'm really an easygoing person. It really, unless you mess with my dogs, my wife, or my guns, right? I could care less what you do. You can do whatever you want to me. You can say whatever you want to me. But them three things are very sacred with me. I have no children. I have no offsprings. So my abuse started, and it's ironic because I know where every one of my abusers live. I mean, I have their addresses, though I live 1,800 miles away from them or better, but I know where they live. I have their address, right? That's the reason why I say, Todd, You are a better fucking man than I am. Because had I been in that prison with him, he wouldn't have lasted.
Yeah.
But my abuse happened. It really started when I was 11 years old. My father was overseas, 32 year Marine Corps veteran. And but I had multiple abusers. I had 7 in total. And to be honest with you, I'm like Timothy. I could care less about the fucking money. I could care less about
David,
the money.
real quick. Now you got to stop and think about this. I was just barely 18 years old enough to do time. Now I'm 6'7" and I weigh 350 pounds now. But then I was a skinny toothpick.
Yeah.
Was tripping out that I was even in prison. Okay.
I
And
remember
like
that.
I said, even then I was angry, but I couldn't, but now, yeah.
True.
But
but no.
I agree, and I hear what you're saying, right?
But your predator is brazen because you're one of the only ones I know of that had a perfect childhood and a good family. The most of us in that psychological thing, they single us out. So your predator was very brazen.
Well,
but I'll let you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to put those 2 little things in there. But
that was good.
Mine started while my father was overseas. I'm 51. I'm about to be 51. Right. So, do I think that them bastards would have even remotely tried to do that with my father being stateside? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I had a pretty good childhood, man. When my father came back stateside, my mother was not the perfect. She was a good wife. She was a good mother in so many respects, but she wasn't the perfect wife. But I have a very long history. I have a very violent past. All it takes is just that look to really piss me off. Yeah. But the number one thing that you can do in front of me is harm a child, and I will come unglued at the seams. And I think a lot of it has to do with because of my abuse.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we need to be there where we're being, here's the thing, we're making sure that we're being able to be heard, so there's accountability and children are protected, because the system has not changed. It's allowing perpetrators to be hidden and protected, and no accountability. It just keeps going on. I want to share, this is the book that you're talking about, so that's a good book. I appreciate it.
Yeah, send that to me if you
can.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna actually do that. It says taking charge of your life after boyhood sexual abuse. So that sounds really good, and I had not heard of that book yet. So and you said it mentioned Boy Scouts, so that's very interesting.
I mean, it's only got 230 pages in it.
Sure.
Man, you can read it in a year, read 1 page a day.
Right. It's a great, that's a great easy read, hopefully. I do want to mention before we go on to other questions, since we're talking about books, I cannot more strongly recommend this book. It's pretty detailed. Look at that. It's got tiny print, lots of pages. So this is the author. He did the wrong side, it's mirrored. He did the LA Times Perversion Files. And this came out in February 2025. Unfortunately, he passed away before it was released. But he's an amazing, very thorough. It talks about the Boy Scouts history, how they became to be the massive youth program after they cannibalized and targeted other youth programs and monopolized their Boy Scouts of America congressional charter. And then it goes all the way up to the bankruptcy and into the bankruptcy enough to let you know that from the very beginning, it was about these attorneys just having calls go out, pulling in claimants just so they could turn quickly and make money. They didn't want to go after accountability and fight on behalf of our injustice. Was there anything else before we go into a couple questions? Anything anything else anybody want to share?
So
Um,
I just want to
uh-huh.
give a little history. Well,
Sure. Go ahead.
so as I was saying earlier, my,
Oh, you
my
broke up, Timothy. Can
okay.
you say that one more time?
I said my situation started in the Archdiocese of Baltimore when I was 4 years old. It was my brother, my sister, my stepbrother. We were all being molested by one individual that started. The individual was very well networked, and I mean networked out the entire state. And then it to Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia, Connecticut, Long Island, New Hampshire, Maine. They even took us across into Canada on multiple occasions. Um, it's like, I mean, like I said, if I had to tell you, if I knew a number, how many I was beside brothers and sisters, I would say there was over 1,000 other kids that were being molested beside me. Were faces I don't remember names. I remembered a lot of names that it's really hard for me to understand the concept of what I was diagnosed now disorder with dissocial amnesia. But when these night terrors come to me, I see faces, I smells, I know everything about my perpetrator, and remembering the faces beside me. I will never forget it. I mean, I know my father, and he would tell me stories of what he went through in Vietnam, some of his flashbacks, and kind of feel like my PTA is kind of the same way. I feel it, I smell it, and I live it all over. That will never change. But as the past few years, my mother passed away just last year, and my mother was a part of what was happening. My mother was Catholic. She believed in everything the priest would tell her. I don't care if they were me right in front of her. I think she would had such blinders on and denial that she wouldn't even see the fact that it was happening right dead in front of her. I love my mother, and raised in a broken family. My mother and father split when I was very young, when I was 3 years old. Um, my father was accused of touching my sister, divorced through the Catholic Church, because back then it was very hard to get divorced, and you had a logical reason. You had to have a spiritual reason why you were going to get a divorce, and that's how my mother was able to get away from my father. My father never touched my sister. I've discovered a lot of information. Even my father, it's kind of crazy because the same person that molested my sister and my stepbrother was the same person that molested my father way when he was a child, and it's crazy.
Timothy, you're breaking up a little bit. It's unbelievable the extent of your uh,
I have solid internet, man. I don't know why it's falling down.
it's okay. I'm just saying it's unbelievable. Like you said earlier, the attorneys claimed you're an outlier case,
Yeah,
but
that's where I was actually going to. Andrew Arsdale is how you say his last name, and Eric Peters, my actual
yeah,
claim person on my claim.
right.
They actually called me an out, not Andrew, but Eric Pearson called me an outlaw.
Right.
I'm no outlaw, and I'm
right.
no creditor. I'm a survivor.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think we all were in shock if we remember the first time that we were called creditors. And the first time I remember being called a creditor was when I went up to Delaware uh, early 2020, right before the pandemic blew up. We had a couple hundred of us meet up there to form the TCC. And I was interviewed. I'm not retired, or at that time I didn't have like 724 access to help with the bankruptcy, and they called us claimants, and I was like, this is not going to go well because we again, we didn't loan them money, we didn't give them like construction services or supplies where they owe us for something. We were sexually abused as children, and that's a totally different thing. We're not claimants. Before we go on to some questions, and I hope David's okay, you bet. Sometimes you gotta take a break and then also use the restroom or something. But these can get long. but this is Scout's Honor. This book is a pretty groundbreaker. It was done in 1994, and that's what the Scout's Honor Netflix documentary was about. And then I'll share one last book. This is still standing. This is Gordon Lewis. I thought he was going to be able to make it with us, but his schedule, a couple of us couldn't make it. But this is.
There was one more I sent
I'm
you
sorry.
too, Curtis.
Sorry.
The book I also sent you.
You said another
from
book?
the disc I told you about. Yeah, I
You're
sent you
breaking
another
up,
one.
man.
I,
I'm sorry.
I think it was a while. It was a good while back then. It was a good one
Okay.
I sent it to you, but I'll give it to you and then you can show it to him.
Yeah. We're gonna have a couple of episodes just focused on certain books and documentaries like Scouts Honor. We'll just have people that have seen it come on and share things about the documentary, so people can better. Um, there's interesting things that people need to point out and discuss even after seeing a few times. It's good to see what other people's opinions are in case they saw something differently. But what I wanted to do is kind of wrap up. If we have a couple questions and we could stay a little longer, it's not too bad. We're just a little bit over close to an hour. But I wanted to make sure I'll share for myself and then let somebody else go through this one question. But it's often asked if if the Boy Scouts should be shut down, and what does justice mean for me? And I'm just thinking, I think it's long overdue. They hid, we don't even know how many, but several thousand, at least like 7,700 were in one batch of the this perversion files that were released, but they were redacted. They weren't all there, and they've gotten rid of so many. We don't even know how many thousands and thousands over time that they didn't release or didn't even report. But the thing is it's not. I was hopeful up to the bankruptcy when it was filed that maybe they would shift and they would do something. But for me, they don't they don't help people that have been hurt. Like today, if you're harmed, I'll say this: from February the 1st, 2021, Sandra Birchmore was murdered in the Explorer program. Three police officers sexually abused her when she was starting at age 15, and they're not reaching out to help the family and the community for justice for her. They don't care. They want to wash their hands off of anything that happened within the organization. As soon as you have a
What's her
problem,
name
and
again?
report it. Sandra Birchmore. It's after that abuse and that murder by the police officer that was in the Explorer program. Three of them sexually abused her. That's after the bankruptcy. There's many incidents of this stuff still happening, and I think the only reason why the numbers are lowering on abuse issues is because their membership numbers are getting lower, and they're now at 1930s level. They're well below a million. I don't know if it's like 700, 800,000, but one, the abuse isn't stopping, so they just need to be stopped because we're collateral damage. They don't care, and they're not helping us. What's happening in
Have
the
you reached out to
bankruptcy?
them, Curtis? Have you reached out to the
Oh, yeah,
people
yeah,
that?
yeah. There's a lot of
Because
community,
I would like to really
sure,
support them also, and that's
yeah,
hard, dude.
yeah,
This is why I've been saying from day one that the Boy Scouts has got to go. I don't care if they
absolutely.
change their name.
Yeah, your internet's still sticking. I'm sorry if it's
Yeah, it's my internet.
awkward
I'm
to
sorry,
talk.
guys. This laptop is not the
You're
greatest,
fine.
and it keeps kicking me out, man.
We'll
I
we'll
apologize.
figure it out. Yeah, we can hear you. It's just I don't know when you're pausing sometimes, so I hope I'm not talking over too much. But what I was trying to, you bet. What I was trying to say though is, and I don't want to keep long, but one is it's still happening. Two, they know what's happening to us. We're fighting for 4.7%, not even enough for most of us to have any kind of, I mean, if you're owed money because of the harm done to you, I mean, horrible harm. People can't get medications. They can't reestablish the wealth of the loss from loss of jobs, divorces, being incarcerated, like we were talking about, all this harm that's being done. and the CEO knows what's going on, and nobody in that organization gives a shit what's happening to the Boy Scouts that they used to praise as long as they could parade them in front of people and make donations and grift off our selling popcorn or whatever the fuck we're doing for them as puppets. They were just, I hate to use that word. I'm just saying they were exploiting us. And now they're not doing anything to help us. So I'll just say that's my opinion on the Boy Scouts being shut down or not, and what justice means to me. And justice means to me that it's where they're held accountable, even if it means shutting down completely to pay us all in full. If it's determined we're owed amount, that's what they should be paying us. David, did you want to go next? I don't want to put you on the spot, but on the what I'm looking at, you're next in the order. If you want to go next on what you think about the Boy Scouts getting shut down or not, and justice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody
we could
else.
say
Okay, go
we
ahead.
we could say no, right? But that still leaves an open door policy for predators to offend. I'm all about the preservation of our children, whether it's Shannon's children, Todd's children, Timothy's children. If you have children, Curtis, your children, I'm all about the safety, the security, and the preservation of our children. And there's no definitive avenue that they could remotely even show me on plans that they could put in place to protect the children. I feel like it would be a disservice to not only our children today, but our children to come, grandchildren and all, for us to even allow this to remotely go on and put in place people that are going to abuse and traumatize the children.
Who would like to go? I'm sorry, was there something else, David? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm done.
Okay. Was there somebody else that wants to go next about shutting down the Boy Scouts or not? Oh, Shannon, go ahead. You're next.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be happy until they are shut down because, like we all know, the abuse is just going to keep continuing. They just have a more variety of kids to choose from now, and the accountability, is not there, and they're able to slip through the cracks. Even if they do background checks, there's still people that can just slip through the cracks, and until they're completely shut down, there's not going to be any peace of mind. And like the only reason why my boys wanted to be in the Boy Scouts, and I told him, I said the only way that I will allow you to be in the Boy Scouts is I had to be your leader, and I became their leader. And now I've got one son that made Eagle Scout, and so I mean, I also became a watchdog. I mean, when I moved here to Oklahoma, I actually was a member of the American Legion and became a volunteer with their Boy Scout troop. But they made me a charter organization representative. That means, kind of like executive position where you oversee all the background checks. And I did a screening process to make sure that if anybody wanted to be a leader, that they had to go through go through a background check and all that. But like I said, I used to keep an eye on them like a mother hen. You know what I mean? So
that's great.
That's great. Oh, and another thing too, I want to share with everybody. Even though I got a book that's at a publisher now, I am presently writing a book now, and what I want to do is I want to be the catalyst for any survivor that wants to tell their story, and for people that don't want to tell their story, they can leave an impact statement because that's something that we never got a chance to do. And I'd like to include that in this book. So if any of you gentlemen would like to share your story with me, that would be great. And I put it on a couple of Facebook group pages too. And like if anybody wants me to change their names or protect their identity, I'm cool with that. But I really think I want to have a platform for survivors to be able to tell their story. So, and the name of that book is going to be called Stolen Innocence.
It's
But I
great.
just want to shut. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
but
great.
thank you guys for allowing me to be with you guys today. I appreciate it.
That's great. And there you had shared some posts in our Facebook groups as well as others or other places online would be good. But however we can help. Currently, it's June 6th, I'm sorry, June 9th, but on June 1st they released the update that 61,000 claims have been determined to be offered an award amount, is what they call it. Uh, so there's way more survivors that need to have the opportunity to be heard than any that we have time to it it take years and years for one person or one small group or many groups to give them a chance to be heard, and there's an urgency because a lot of them are not we're getting old. We're not living long enough to be heard. Timothy, did you want to go
Exactly.
next? Oh, I'm sorry, Shannon, was there something else?
Oh gosh, yeah, I totally agree.
Thank you. Timothy, did you want to say something else? I mean, did you want to
Uh,
follow up on that?
I wanted to see, I mean, Todd, do you have something to say, buddy?
I do, but I can wait. I'm not in a
No,
hurry.
no, no.
You go
Go
ahead.
ahead, man. Go ahead. No, I want you to go, Bob. Go ahead.
All right. So, do I think the Boy Scouts United States need to be like abolished? Yes. Uh, I'm gonna get a little personal here. I haven't had a vacation in like almost a decade. I got to spend 3 days with my lady on the ocean. Beautiful room. You couldn't ask for a better room. Got a great discount through a family member. 3 days looking at the ocean. And you know what could go through my mind to ruin everything? And I fucked the vacation up because of my anger.
Yeah,
Intimacy is not a thing with me anymore. I can't
yeah,
focus.
yeah.
This shit has ruined my life. I'm not going to get any money. I've accepted that. So now what I got to do is use my anger in the best way that I can with you guys and shut this shit down. This is totally fucking, you can edit this out, but I'm going to speak my
You're
mind.
good.
It has
You're
fucking
good.
turned my life upside down. It's a scab that I had to peel off that was never going to heal. But we all had to relive this again by talking to our lawyers, experts, and psychologists and all that shit. I had 3 days. That's all I could afford was 3 days. And I couldn't even enjoy that because this shit's in my mind. Now, my wife is in the house right now mad at me because the last day and a half of our trip was something to
Right,
do with me. Yeah, I want to burn them to the ground. This is
right.
affecting all of us. It's a serious issue and it has to be dealt with. They've already taken all of our money. Damn the trustee judge, whoever it is that's in charge of money, she's paying herself more than the president every month. Yeah, it needs to be dealt with. And yeah, I'm fucking angry. I don't want to see them gone. I want to see it wiped from history. That's what I want to see. That's how angry I am. If I didn't have a son to live for, I'd go burn it down my goddamn self. But we got to take this shit seriously.
Yeah. I wanted to follow up the judge that's running the settlement trust is making, like you said, 175,000 a month, which potentially a very
And there's not a
large number of
claimant that's
us.
getting that much. There's not one
Right,
claimant that's going to get nowhere
right.
near that amount. Not
Potentially,
one.
potentially she will make more money in 1 month than a very large, vast majority of any of us that have been very, very poor, horribly harmed will make with their claim. But
And
I
I
I'd
do
be
want
think
to
that's
sick
an
of
mention,
myself.
understatement. I think she'll make more than any of the
oh,
82,000 combined.
I hope
That's a
that's,
fact.
well,
How
let me tell you
twisted is
something.
that shit?
Well, let me tell you something, and then I'll let Timothy go. I'm sorry. In 2024, she made 21, I'm sorry, 2,107,676 and in 2025 she made $2,229,002 collectively in 2 years. Well, actually, it was a year and maybe three-fourths. She made $4,336,678 for her salary and expenses. David, would you go pretty quickly and then Tim's next? Sorry.
I've never seen that kind of money at one time.
It's insane.
I've never seen that kind of money at one time. And please excuse my abusive language. I'm in agreement with Todd.
Yep.
Right. And I'm going to be brutal here now. I'm going to be very
Be
brutal.
brutal. Be brutal.
I got fucked up the ass and I didn't get paid for it.
Right.
Yep.
I'm kind of
It
fucked up.
happened to you all over again, but 10 times worse.
Yeah. By the system.
And then slapped in the face and not even a thank you.
And to know that the very people that were supposed to defend me in this case are fucking me as well.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to get more money than you.
Right.
They're all going to get more money. The fucking experts are making what? What was it, Curtis?
Yeah,
$1,900 an hour plus a $10,000 detainer. Yeah, they're all getting more money than us. We'll never see that. I've got a $10 million case with a 3.5 million recommendation.
Yeah.
I'll probably make more than y'all. I'll get a $60 check. Maybe. But I'll buy you all a beer. That's how fucked up
I'm ready.
Is.
I'm ready.
I'm coming down for that beer.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but I will have that beer with you.
If we were female gymnasts, guess what?
Right. Might be
we're
different.
Men. We're supposed to buck it up.
Yeah. I will say this.
I'm sorry.
Well, there's 61,000. There's some women that were abused as girls when they were young. But the thing is the vast majority, unfortunately, it's the insurance companies and the institutions, Catholic, Mormon, Baptist, that are fighting this whole thing, along with, like I said, the insurance companies that have owned the whole system, the bankruptcy system that we should not even be part of, again, because it's sexual abuse. It's not, part of a bankruptcy appropriately. It's all about the entity. They don't care about the victims. But Timothy, I'll let you go. But I'll just wrap up by saying that it's not, to me, the abuse that happened as a child was extremely horrible. The thing that triggers my PTSD and triggers my anger is every day it's some other child that's a perpetrator is being reported, and it's the Boy Scouts, Scouting America now, the entity doing everything they can to just screw everybody over, as they're trying to act like nothing happened. The entity's moved on, like everything's okay, and the insurance companies are the one that are paying the bulk of the situation. The Boy Scouts only paid like 200 million or something for 82,000 claims. They only paid into the system of liability around 210 million or something like that. The entity itself. Now the charters, some of the councils, I should say, are BSA councils. They are having to lose some properties and things to pay on their behalf. But anyway, I want Timothy to go, and then we'll probably wrap it up unless there's another question or any loose end. But go ahead, Timothy. Go ahead.
I mean, I have a question. It's not about myself, but my thing is for all of us, actually. Is that has anybody kind of drawn a line about where these other insurance companies are staying? Because I just found out today that I was told that the insurance companies have until I was told they have until the end of the year to settle the rest of their claims, and if they don't, it will be in bad faith. I was just told that the Judge Silverstein is giving them extensions upon extensions, so this could go on for the next 5 years. Outside of that,
it's getting paid
the other
off,
thing I'm concerned about. Well, the other thing I'm concerned is I was told I have a unnamed source that I was told down in Texas that she has been negotiating these claims with insurance companies, and there might be a possibility that she might be getting kickbacks on some of these insurance claims. Now, if that's the case, isn't that considered laundering money? I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert in money, but
it's under the table. It's a 25-year-old bottle
and then
of
I was
Pappy.
told
It's a 25-year-old bottle of Pappy. It's the money under the table.
Yeah, and I was also told there's a bias within this one. that she does not like men. I don't see how someone could oversee all men victims that has a bias that don't like men. I'm
They
very
can't prove it.
clueless on
They
that.
can't
I'm
prove it.
very
It's
confused.
hearsay.
But no. But if you look at her history, if you go back and look
Yeah.
at her past, I'm sorry, it's clear as day. If you listen and you watch the
No, I
videos
believe you.
of
I'm
them
100% with you. I'm just saying that's just how they're looking at it.
downtown halls.
I'm sorry. Let's have a
It's-
discussion. I'm sorry. What I don't mean to cut you off. I'm saying we can get the town halls. Not that it's only the town halls. We can get other things and present them, and then let people decide for
I
themselves
think
if
we
there's a
need to
problem or
do
not.
that, Curtis. I really do.
We do. Amen.
I think
We
we need
damn
to do
sure
that
do.
because
Because he's right.
I can tell you, sir. There's a lot of things I listened and I went back and I watched all those town halls. And I'm sorry, I'm not an expert, but I can tell you from the way she expressed herself, how she made us look like we're greedy survivors and we only worry about money. We don't care about nothing else. We don't care about getting our stories out. We're just worried about the money at the end. No, that's not the case.
Right. It's ugly statements
about the money.
Right. It's ugly statements that have been made.
I care about the accountability and the justice that we all want.
Right. Horrible statements have been made.
Goddamn pocket is being padded.
But that's
everybody's goddamn pocket is being padded.
Well, she's getting 175 a month. So why is she in a hurry? But David, before you go, I was let you go, David. But I was going to say there's been horrible statements made, and one of them was when they were auctioning off the Norman Walkwall. And our perpetrator is named Norman, so I always hated those fucking payments.
And I bet he was a pedophile too. Look at his goddamn sculptures. I put dead my son's life on it.
Look what he was painting. Okay, kids pulling their pants down for a shot and shit like that. Right. All right. So here's the deal: is they were auctioning those off in Dallas, Heritage Auctions, and she was saying, "Oh, this is for abuse that happened decades and decades ago." And I'm like, "Bitch, excuse me. I hate to use that. I normally never. Anyway, she deserved it. I'm sorry, because that minimized literally thousands of people in the decades and decades that have been abused, just like, oh, that happened long ago. She just totally, as a judge running our trust, she just totally, just like as if it didn't matter that these people within decades and decades were sexually abused. And like Sandra Birchmore being murdered in 2020. I mean, there's many more, but I'm just saying this is still happening. And she's acting like, oh, this happened long ago. David, would you go, please? I'm sorry.
I also heard. I've also heard that she was paying more to female survivors. There is a few female survivors within this in this situation that was receiving more money.
Right. Well, let me mention this. Okay. There are so many things that are inconsistent, that are inappropriately assessed, and I'm just going to let you know that's the problem with it. Is we don't even know how many people are dying, even though I talk to people and then they literally their relatives are like, hey, sorry, or that person passed away, and David, I'll let you go, I'm so sorry, next, or they're saying, hey, our father died and we didn't know he was a claimant, or my husband died and he didn't know, and I'm like, they're dying and she doesn't give a shit that we're dying waiting for justice, because nobody is reporting the gap of these people that are disappearing. I mean, like, literally, some people, I don't even know where they're at anymore. I mean, not just one person.
Us out.
Because there's nobody there. There was nobody there to speak up on behalf of that survivor. Because, the wife doesn't know what to do. I've already told my wife, and I told my kids, don't let the fight end with me. If I die tomorrow, I want you to continue my fight. And they are. My son, my youngest son, Nicholas, my biological son, is going to fight for me.
Right. We're going to have an episode on helping people, like, establish a state or something, because we don't want this to go, if something happens, they need to be held accountable for that loss of wealth to that family or any benefactor. Sorry, Dave, go ahead and go now. I appreciate your being waiting there.
So y'all can access the portal, right? I can no longer access the portal.
Oh.
I can't even access my lawyer's client page no more. I can't get into none of that. As a matter of fact, after the first distribution, which I think after lawyer fees, I probably got like $11,500.
Congratulations. Maybe you need to buy us beers.
Sorry.
Because I haven't received a penny.
I don't drink no more, Todd.
I don't either,
But if we
yeah.
would all come together,
We will have to
me and
drink a
my
beer.
wife would be going to the fucking liquor store, Jack, and we'd be buying about 20 fucking cases of beer. We'd sit around a bonfire and just get trashed. But anyway,
But
after I got that first distribution, right, I got locked out of the portal.
Yeah.
I can't even, I told Curtis that. I can't even access my lawyer's portal no more.
So
my lawyer, I call
I've
my
been locked
lawyer.
out so many times I can't even count.
right.
I call my lawyer, and my lawyer said, "Well, you need to get in touch with the trust." So I get in touch with the trust,
Yep.
and the trust tells me I need to get in touch with my lawyer. So
Okay. Yep.
So I tell my lawyer, I said, "Look, if I was to get awarded, or if I was to receive the total amount, excuse my language, of course. I'm very brutal in my language, right?" I said, "Bitch, you're gonna make damn near $700,000 off of me,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
and you can't help me."
They can't even give you a call and update you and help you get access to the portal. It's so shitty. And then the reality is it's so underfunded that they don't think it's worth their effort to keep fighting it, which they should.
You all know,
right.
You all know you get charged for every time you call your lawyer to have them get you back into the portal.
Email all that. You're being charged for that. Email all that shit.
Yeah.
Every email you sent. Yeah.
So
it can be upwards of $45 an email.
You know,
Timothy,
I've resigned to the fact.
Yeah.
And me and my wife have even said this, because I told my wife, I said, "Man, if I even just get 10%, I said, we're not going to do nothing but fucking pour it into our community." I'll tell you where I live. I live right outside of North Myrtle Beach.
You can't
South
afford
Carolina.
to pour it in your community. You're going to have to put it on your bills. You can't afford that. 10% ain't going to be shit. My lawyer actually told me, and I'll be quick. He told me in front of my wife on the phone, on speakerphone. He knew she was in the room. He says, "We're going to actually cut a $70 check for a matrix thing. A $70 check
for an hour."
Kicker. I was told a story today that there's some survivors that owe money and they're not even.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And once they took out loans and everything else, thinking they're going to get this because the calculator on the matrix said this, this, and this. But you don't see that fucking calculator no more, do you?
But see, those attorneys offered those loans and they got kickback because they could give their clients a loan, not get enough money coming in to pay the loans. So the attorney got referral money for referring that loan, or they distributed that loan.
All right. So how many in this room paid the $20,000 IRO? Raise your hand.
Right. Well, two of us. They're not IROs, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're in the negative. They wouldn't let me be one. I wanted to be one, but they wouldn't let me be one.
Right. No, Andrew.
One more thing. I think it's funny.
Yeah. Well, you're better off than Curtis and I.
These lien things that they're doing is another scam.
Right.
Just to let you guys know, I've verified my liens 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
And like I said, because I was a child when I was going through the psychological things that I was going through. I've always personally paid my therapist. I never went through medical. I never did a state. I know it was never on the state facilities to where I, had access to get more doctors. That's where I'm at today. I can't even find a therapist that will accept my insurance, my personal insurance, to see a therapist. So I've been now going on a year and a half without a therapist. So, and I'm doing pretty good because I'm self therapy myself. So, I've done a lot of research on my own things.
Well,
but it's where these liens are nothing but a scam. And the funny is these lawyers that are doing these, the ones that say quote unquote, "Let me take care of it for you."
Right.
They're getting a kickback, guys. They're not doing it for free. Don't think they're doing it because they want you to get more money, because that's what they're going to tell you. That's a lie in itself. They're doing it because they're fattening more of their pockets.
And one quick thing too, it's medical liens. Everybody has medical liens.
So let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, David.
You know so if I was to call Todd, right? If I was to get on the phone with Todd, and I was to call him, he'd say, "Hey, what's up, David?" Right? So when I fucking call my lawyer, and I've recorded this, it's the same fucking rehearsed, repetitive fucking words every fucking time. "Oh, well, Mr. Boyd, we have Mr. Board, we have no update. We see that you've submitted your claim, blah, 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 blah. We haven't heard back from the trust. Well, why ain't you heard back from the trust, punk? Why ain't you heard? Why don't you get off your ass and do some work? I mean, you're making a fucking astronomical amounts of money off of me. Like, get fucking real, man. You know what I mean?
Well, our lawyers seem to be a little more, what's the word? They know how to like pull the Band-Aid off slowly, but they're the same. They're all the same.
Well,
the cue card.
Here's the thing. I
got a cue card sitting on their desk. I said,
you breaking up, Timothy?
You're talking to, or the secretary, or the person? I'm sorry, it's my internet. It's a cue card. They have it in front of their desk.
Oh,
they read it off to you every time someone got their BSA claim.
Okay,
I knew firms that are handling archdiocese and BSA have the same cue card.
Right. Okay, so look, I want to clarify this. There are, as much as a large amount of the community, our survivor community, beat the people up in Guam, those attorneys fought to appeal, and they tried to hold, where we could go after the churches and the schools because they shouldn't be covered under the bankruptcy. And I felt, I want to go after the church that in my RROs, fortunately, there was some liability. And the thing is, I'm just saying the charters, the schools and the churches, the police, the fire departments, there are fire departments that had Boy Scout SA claimants. Those people are accountable too, but we can't go after them according to the bankruptcy right now. All this stuff has to be it's still being with the U.S. Trustee. We got to be able to challenge this whole issue because I'll conclude on this part. They can't take a portion of your recovery amount because the charter's liable, the school or church, and then you can't go after the charter. They're saying you can't go out. Like, how do they take some out of our recovery, but they won't let us go get that from the charters? So it's fraud. It's all misaligned just to minimize the amount they owe and what we're going to get, and it's horrible. But yeah, I was just going to say we probably should wrap up a little bit, but a lot of the things that we've discussed, we're going to have to investigate. Some of the attorneys are working really hard and they are doing the best they can, but they're just defeated, or they don't have any ability to fight back because this thing, when you have firms that have 18,000, 19,000, or 12,000, 14,000, the people that only have a handful or a few hundred, maybe in our case, our attorney has around 1,000, their position of power and the voting block is not going to, and the process how it went through with not being, it was declined from the U.S. Supreme Court on appeals. There's some people that are champions, but this whole thing is so bad, it's got to be addressed by the bulk of us survivors complaining.
Once this is all over, of the numbers on that, because I tell you, I think there's a very little really good attorneys out there.
You're breaking up, Timothy. Sorry.
I said there's a very few good attorneys out there that are getting a bad name because of all these others. And I think that really sucks.
Right. You know what I think? And
who's next?
Me and my wife has spoke about this. You know what I think when all this shit's going to come?
Did you know your camera's off? You can keep it off if you want, but
yeah,
you're off.
Because I'm smoking a cigarette.
Take your time. Okay.
You know what I think's going to happen? I'm just trying to be respectful.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, you're good.
When I think all this corruption's going to come to fruition? When we're all fucking dead.
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Hey, can I say something real quick? Can we like do tomorrow, the next day, just do not do recording and just all have a vent session?
We'll definitely have
I think I need that.
Yes.
I really do. If y'all are down for that, I would just like to
Todd, you can call me anytime, man.
Just let it all out.
Yeah.
Hey, if we've got fucking, I've got an iPhone. I don't know about y'all, but if we got iPhones, man, we can fucking FaceTime multiple people on fucking iPhones And hey, Todd, it's your turn. Just say what the fuck you got to say, man, or say
I
what's
like
on your
him.
fucking
Yeah.
mind.
Well, let me mention this. I just upgraded the Zoom license to have up to 500 attendees without any issues. So
What?
uh,
Yeah.
that's the plan. We're going to have this at least once a week. We're going to have daily, as the momentum goes, where we can interview people one on one. I hope Shannon Cooper will be able to do an interview about his book after. When is your podcast coming out with Jody? Shannon, do you
It's
remember?
supposed to be out on the 18th of this month.
18th of June. Okay, great. That's only 11.
So my time is anytime after 3 p.m. Eastern time. I know. I'm sorry. That's because I Uber and Lyft. I'm retired. That's what I do to make my money
That's
because I
fine.
live in a shitty house, and that's just what I
Yeah.
got to do. But anytime 3 p.m. Central time or Eastern time, man, we could just get together and do this. This is
We'll have we'll
it's
have
helping me.
you bet. We'll have a lot of opportunities because we got to get the word out for the community to share and come together and update and if there's a new perpetrator arrested, if there's a new law that's opened, like Oklahoma almost eliminated statute of limitations and NDAs. One lady
Exactly.
blocked all that, so we got to tell that lady she's a piece
So
of
each
shit.
of us that live in different areas, when stuff pops up, share it with Curtis. We can post it to our. Yeah, that would be great.
So let me wrap up by saying this. I don't. Here's the thing. All of us have different past experiences. We got to a certain point to get to this bankruptcy. We have had different experiences in the bankruptcy, but the vast majority of us, not all of us, but the vast majority of us are struggling. A lot of them are incarcerated. A lot of them have lost their jobs, their wives or spouse, husband, you know, uh, all sorts of ways. Like I said, there's girls and boys, and there's different community members in the community. And the thing is it's a struggle, and that's why they call it surviving or called survivals because it's a survival. I mean, you gotta fight. You're trying to sleep, and every day your body's wanting to fight because it's just insane how horrible this abuse continues to happen, and how much it takes to fight it. And I'm just trying to say, we want to do a brief profile on each person, and then have it potentially like if they have a book that they because uh, there's Gordon Lewis, Shannon Cooper. There's a few other people. If they're in a documentary, and we want people to be able to understand these survivor stories. But also, I was trying to say is whoever has one, we could put a GoFundMe link on there. So it's like, hey, don't support the entity, like even don't support your Catholic, Mormon, Baptist church, whatever, if they're not supporting the Boy Scouts that were, determined to be like they were sexually abused, you know, within your institution, within the Boy Scouts, don't donate money to the Scouting America. Help the people that are struggling and surviving as best they can to fight this. And that'll be individually. I don't want anything to do beyond helping people know other people's stories. I'm not needing to run one big GoFundMe. I want each person to be able to do that if they want to. I'm telling you because it's necessary because so many can't even afford medication. They can't afford stable living arrangements. This is what has happened with people
Right.
trying to survive from this abuse.
Quick question. What about our brothers that are incarcerated with a
We,
DOC number? Are they going to be able to fight this, or are they just because they're in the penitentiary they can't get a
right.
lawsuit? Or I mean,
Well,
that's the big question.
they should have representation or they're pro se. But the thing is I think Lee mentioned that, and Lee might be not to put pressure on because he's got to do with what challenges he has for his own case. But I think others in his situation and others that want to help him, like experts to help our community to get these people that are incarcerated to be represented on their interests of being appropriately handled. And I think Lee will be able to know what is or isn't possible and have other people help with that. David, did you have something to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to say this. So, my wife is very observant, right, of my bodily actions and everything about me, right. I haven't been married to her long. I've been married to her now. I've been together, been with her for almost 6, been married almost 5. But my wife is in tune with me, right. When I started talking to Curtis on the phone, right? My wife says, I notice a massive difference in you after you speak with Curtis than you do when you talk to them fucking corrupt lawyers. She said, when you talk
Yeah.
to them corrupt lawyers, you don't sleep, you're very irritable, you're very angry, you get in very big bouts of depression, right? But when I talk to, and I'm not trying to exclude, Todd or Timothy or Shannon, but when I would talk, and this is very therapeutic for me, by the way. But when I used to talk to Curtis on the phone, my wife would say, "You are a different person for about a week.
Yeah.
You're a very better person for about a week." So I want this. I want to absorb this at least once a week. If we can make it any like like Todd, if we can make it like somewhere in the afternoon where I can dedicate my scheduling for y'all because I like to listen to y'all because I know I'm not alone in this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very mutually healing to understand that we're all fighting. And I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm just saying
Oh,
I
you're
just
fine.
cannot
You're
thank
fine.
you. I cannot thank you enough because there's a lot of people that target us and beat us up because they don't want us to stop. And before, I'm sorry, somebody else was trying to go. I don't know who's next, but what I was going to say is the people that are fighting us are one insurance representatives or they're investors. They got interest to pay us as little as possible. They're Mormon Church, they're Slater Schulman, and I hate to say it that way as if I'm going to be like defaming them, but I'm saying when it comes out, there are links to people that like, oh shit, this guy works for so and he didn't mean anything. He was just trying to stir the pot and piss us off. Well, yeah, fucker, people are unaliving. People are not making it because of this shit in our community because there's 61,000 plus again that are still active and confirmed through the process, and we can't even get a small amount of us to work together to fight because there's so much intentional harm to divide us. And what I was trying to say is the ones that target us, and I got on a tangent here, they want us not to fight because their attorneys, if they are a survivor that is meaning well, but they want to stop us from fighting, it's because their attorney has told them if we keep fighting, it's only going to cost the attorneys and the judge and all the expenses so that everybody gets less. So they've been told bullshit that we can't fight to get paid more, which we ultimately could, especially if we go over the amount that they charged us. Hundreds of millions of dollars could be reversed, showing that there's a lot of fraud and issues that they took out of our trust, but they don't want us to fight for it, these people that are fighting us, because they think it's just going to cost them more money and they're going to get less. That's how crazy the internal fighting is because the people that just want to move on and they get their checks, the attorneys or insurance companies pay less. It's all about, they don't care about the people that were harmed. All they care about is their money and benefit.
But
Yeah.
why is the trust settling for pennies on the dollar and not asking us about it?
Right.
Hey
Well,
Todd, how do you
that'll
feel
come
about
out.
this? How do you feel? Hey Todd, or hey Shannon, or hey Timothy, or hey Curtis, how do you feel about this percentage? Why not fucking ask the people that got abused?
Well, they did, but we voted on it. And again, uh, there's many people that rejected it twice, rejected it once, and then changed, or some people just went ahead and their attorney was like, "You need to vote for this. This is the best we're going to get," kind of bullshit, thinking we were going to get what the calculator or the matrix, the settlement says between these amounts. They didn't say we're going to get paid 4.7% or even less than 10%. They said these are the amounts that if we have a claim in these states with this type of abuse, what this will, and it's nothing. So it's 100% fraud from the beginning. That's why we didn't have a
Well, that's
say.
why Lee, I think that's what he's doing because I think what he found out, and from
Right.
what I know, is listen, I know for a fact I voted no on everything they ever try to said when it comes to the bankruptcy stuff. I didn't agree with it. I had questions I never answered, so I kept saying no. I mean, my original was Andrew and Thornton, and then I called VA, and then I had to fire him. His name, um, I can't think of his name, but stuck with Andrew, and I'm at the point of firing him at this point too. But I
Well,
just think
if there's no representation, what are you going to do? You can't. Yeah.
This mass tort stuff is I would say would be one of the things if I ever became a representative or a senator or anything, that would be one thing that I would make legislation to get thrown out. No more mass torts because this is insane.
We've
This
all
should
got to
be an
fight
individual.
that.
Yeah.
We've all got to make sure that bankruptcy does never happen again for sexual abuse claimants. It's just it's harmful. It's life.
I started legislation on that, and the situation of the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations for sexual assault in any state, I don't allowed to be any entity to be bankruptcy on the fact of sexual abuse at all. I don't care what it is. Just, none.
We're all going to have to work on that, man, and get loud. We're all going to have to get loud and fight this bankruptcy. It's there's so many things to the system for. Like I said, when I was 18 in the 80s, I had until I was 19 to report. That's the statute of limitations. This is how many decades and decades that this stuff has been horribly protecting perpetrators and the institutions that hide them, and we need to keep fighting. And it's getting better. There's been a lot of milestones. But listen, I want to wrap up, and maybe there's loose ends. People have something else to say before we wrap up completely. But I do want to wrap up without before I forget. This is Trey's Law, and it's TREYSLAW.org. Has made it through the Senate, unanimously voting. They were actually falling over each other to co-author it. Like, oh, I want to support, and I'm going to sign on. So it went through unanimously through the Senate. It's making its way through the House. Please call your representatives. I think it's going to be fine. Overall, I'm optimistic that we're going to get this to a federal law, but the House representatives, please call them and say, pass Trey's Law so we can eliminate NDAs on sexual abuse. And it's for children and retroactive, okay? Was there anything else
Guys,
before
I'm
we go?
sorry. I got something I got to attend to.
Absolutely.
But I look forward to talking to you soon.
Absolutely.
Nice meeting you, Todd.
Everybody
You
wrapping
as well.
up?
Thank you, guys.
Are we wrapping up, everybody? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Todd, if you got to go, and I'm going to hit this and then we'll wrap up after that. Okay. We're going to end it. All right. Well, thanks for watching the podcast. We'll have many more episodes to follow. Thank you, everybody, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.